Black Beauty, a film centering on a 15-year-old girl who volunteers at a city pound and convinces her grandfather in the country to adopt a horse that was rescued from an abusive owner. They spend the summer rehabilitating Black Beauty. This is the plot of Black Beauty, 2015, starring Luke Perry. But that's not the film we're talking about. Here's the actual movie. Carrie is a big city teenager whose life is turned upside down when she moves to a horse ranch in Wyoming to live with her father. But everything changes when Carrie meets a jet black Mustang who's just as free-spirited and strong-willed as her. The two form a special bond, and Carrie opens her heart to her father. But this isn't 2020's Black Beauty, this is Flicka 2. Okay, fine, jokes aside, here's the actual plot summary of Disney's 2020 Black Beauty. A wild horse and a teenage girl forge an unbreakable bond which keeps them connected for a lifetime. And I think that summary perfectly describes why this film doesn't work. Because as a person who has read the original book, and has watched the 1994 film countless times, this isn't Black Beauty. More specifically, the first half has almost nothing resembling Black Beauty. In this version, he's a Mustang, and the person that he forms a bond with is a troubled teenager. And to add on to the list of changes, Black Beauty is now a filly, voiced by Kate Winslet, who does a decent job at playing Black Beauty. She also narrates the whole movie and does a decent job, being very poetic, similar to a nature documentary narrator. But I personally prefer Alan Cummings. And the last major change is that the film is set in the present day rather than being a period piece in the late 1800s. So now that the stage is set, what does the film do? Well, the first half of the film completely butchers Black Beauty by turning her, I should say, into some untamable animal who needs to relate to some other damaged person to become tame. And I thought that this part of the movie was annoying and tedious, and it was also the part of the film that was the most advertised and the biggest turnoff for me when it came to wanting to watch the film. But I wanted to make a review of this film, so I had to watch it, so I gave it a chance. And the first half of the film, it was just as I expected. A boring movie that just did not feel like Black Beauty. Besides the names of the characters, I didn't feel like I was watching Black Beauty. I felt like I was watching a generic Disney horse movie. But the film begins to change in the second half, when Black Beauty gets sold. And I like this second half, because it's just like in the 1994 film, where Black Beauty goes through multiple different owners, with varying degrees of quality, and by the end of it, he's nearly broken. This is Black Beauty. This is what I associate with Black Beauty's story. Him getting sold to multiple owners and suffering multiple different forms of abuse, before having a happy reunion and living out the rest of his days peacefully. You know, that's the story that I've come to know with the Black Beauty character. But even with the second half of the film using elements from Black Beauty and actually seeming more like an actual adaptation, it still does repeat some of the same elements worse. The worst example of this is Ginger. Ginger's story does have the same beats of it as any other adaptation, with her being Black Beauty's best friend and then being a shell of her former self by the end of the movie and then later dying. But the main thing that kind of ruins her character for me in this version is that she just isn't in it. That's the most simple way to put it. She had way bigger of a role in almost any other adaptation, and in this one, her role is significantly downplayed. All she really gets is Black Beauty saying, "Oh, Ginger's my friend, she helped me so much," but you never actually see that. And then you see her again, and you're like, "Wait, Ginger? Oh, I remember you. Wait, what'd you do?" Yeah, you just completely forget about her, and that's what happens. The movie just completely forgets about Ginger, brings her back, and expects you to feel sorry and feel sad, even though she had almost no screen time. In the 1994 version, it's way more tragic because you see her change over the course of the film. She's more grouchy when she first meets Black Beauty, but she changes because of Black Beauty, and they become great friends. You actually see them become friends, so it hurts way more when you realize just how terribly she's been treated. But in this version, her downplayed role hurts. It hurts the emotional impact that she's supposed to have, but doesn't. But that's actually one of the only flaws I really have with the second half of the film. The second half of the film is more classic Black Beauty, and I enjoyed it. But that's the thing. That half. This film is only half Black Beauty and half Flicka, or some other unrelated movie. it's only half Black Beauty, not fully Black Beauty, and that's why I think that this remake isn't good. It's only half of what it's supposed to be, or at least what I think Black Beauty represents. Black Beauty is the story about a horse and his life, and what he thinks of it from his perspective, what he thinks of human practices on horses, and maybe why we should change them. And this film only does that for half the film. The other half of the film is unoriginal, uncreative rubbish. And that's it. That's the problem with Black Beauty. And I'd say that while the film isn't terrible, it just isn't great either. I'd say my final rating would be 6.5 out of 10. Mainly thanks to the last half. The last half I did have at least a little bit of fun with, and I was pleasantly surprised by, but it only made me a little more irritated when I realized the missed potential that this film could have had. And the fact that Disney chose not to because easy money. Just slapping Black Beauty on the title of a movie that is only half of what I think Black Beauty is about. He's not a Mustang, he's not an untamable beast, he's just a horse living the life of a horse, and the challenges that come with it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Black Beauty. If you agree with me, that's great. If you don't, that's great. Just leave a comment on what you think of this film. And see you guys next time.